We're at South by Southwest with the CEO and founder of Zaarly. Bo Fishback is here. Bo, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thanks very much.
For those who don't know, tell us what Zaarly is.
It's the idea that you can say what you want and what you're willing to pay for it, and people around you will help get it. So you go to Zaarly, you say what you want, it can be anything, goods, services, tickets to events, anything you can imagine.
So this is a crowded space. What distinguishes Zaarly from all the folks out there doing this?
One is it's a really new space, and new spaces that are clearly going to be interesting always get crowded. Secondly, I think that the thing that differentiates us now is that we're really targeted on being a meta marketplace. So you can ask for anything, goods, services, access to experiences, and everyone from small businesses to individuals to large businesses around can provide it. So we're really going after the Craigslist, eBay marketplaces, and to be honest, you can segment this thing up a lot of different ways. I want the massive meta marketplace, not a niche that just kind of works and can build a $50 million company. We're trying to go and build a $50 billion company.
What are the keys to scaling that big?
Two-sided marketplaces need critical mass. The more local you make them, the harder it is to achieve critical mass. So things like PR is actually really helpful for us because our challenge is more of an awareness one. Our product actually works beautifully. We've got a little over 300,000 users now, so we're small, we're baby. We've only been live 7 or 8 months. At 10 million users, we have a really, really amazing platform that actually kind of changes how the economy behaves.
Are people going to be able to make a living on Zaarly?
Yep, for sure.
Give us some examples of that.
We had a school teacher in Kansas City who made $5,000 in the month of December hanging Christmas lights. And if you think about what that means, right? This is a guy who probably makes $28,000 to $30,000 a year. That is a measurable change in his annual income because we created transparency in a place that it didn't exist before.
How do you guys actually make money?
We take a transaction fee if people pay with their credit card through our system. If they don't, totally free, whatever. If you do, it's totally insured. We protect both sides. If you don't get the thing you wanted, have a bad experience, you don't get paid, we take care of it for you. I think one of the things we're betting big on over time is the ubiquity of mobile payments, which makes that even easier for us to make money with. That said, we've already been offered probably 10 different ways to make money from large companies and sponsored listings and certain local partnerships. I want to keep this as much as possible a transaction business for now because it's really, really clean.
Is this where our American economy is going? Are more and more people going to be looking for opportunities like this to work instead of working at a corporation?
I think definitely yes, and I think it's more than the American economy. I think it is the global economy. It is one of the number one inquiries we get is when are you coming to my country? Name a country, we've had an inquiry. So, we've studied a lot. The two things we've studied the most are dating sites because it helps us understand how messaging works in a system like this.
How did that affect your product?
One of the things people ask us a lot about is safety, and I always say the ultimate safety risk should be online dating sites, right? It's guys and girls looking for each other, they get together in person, but it hasn't gotten the kind of scrutiny that things like Craigslist has. And so how does the messaging and communication work in that environment that leads to 50% of people who are getting married today meet their spouse online? That's incredible, right? What we found is that a huge amount of it is about setting expectations. So OkCupid did something that we just borrowed pretty much directly, which is that when you message someone, and when you're messaging with someone, it sets the expectation, say, does this person respond frequently, sometimes, or never? And just knowing, right, you respond to someone, but it says they never respond, all of a sudden you're not expecting to get an answer back from them. Whereas if they respond frequently, well then one, chances are they're a good actor in the system, they're gonna write you back quick. And two, if they're not, then you're hey, did something not work here? Did you not get my message or whatever? So expectation setting early on, and then the messaging that brings people back into the system is huge for us.
Okay, extrapolate to 10 years from now, what kind of economy are we living in?
I think what we're going to see happen is, the freelance economy that's already started is going to boom. I mean, it is going to be enormous. I don't quite know what that means for kind of corporate America. Will there still be the Googles and stuff of the world? For sure. Will people use this to make supplementary income while they have those day jobs? I hope so. Over time, it's actually going to lead, I think, to an additional boom in entrepreneurship, where people who do that on the weekends enough, they realize that hey, they can control their own future in a way that maybe they weren't aware of before.
Do you worry that the fabric of our society is going to be, tearing apart when, the intern that someone wants to hire at a corporation has got their own business and is not really going to be working for them?
No way. I think it's like a renewal of the American dream, if anything. It's amazing, right? How easy it is to start a company today. The costs are so low. One of the cool things about, if I just use Zaarly as an example, is to say, this is such an old idea that the thing makes you think why didn't somebody do this before, right? It's because 10 years ago, this would have cost $1 billion to build this company. I think if anything, there's magic in the future of this economy, right? Great if a kid who thought he was going to do an internship at IBM is now going to go and start his own company. Who knows, right? Zaarly didn't exist a year ago and we employ 40 people today.
How do you maintain loyalty at these companies if everyone's going to be starting their own companies?
I think that is going to be like a great challenge of the next decade, honestly. So I think companies that actually have like a real purpose and mission will have a huge advantage. I think that things like companies that really spend time and energy and take care of the people who work there are going to be hugely important. I think we saw some of this, like it's in companies like Google, like they really care about the environment. I think anything other than that will be unacceptable in the future.
Bo, I've learned a ton. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.